We're back with the third installment of Dude, It's Football. We're joined today by Blue Yankee Candle and Golf Mug Set. We're also joined by Gabe and Maxwell. We liked them the first time around. Why not bring them back? We missed 2 weeks ago. We're just going to scratch that. It was a unlucky timing. You know, sometimes it gets hard around here. So we're going to review last week and catch ourselves up. The first major point I want to talk about is the Bills' meltdown against the Eagles. What do you guys think?
It's bound to happen every week now. I mean,
I like that.
You look for a spot on their roster where there's a hole, and you can't really find a good one. You can't really find a spot where a player is very much needed. I think it has to end up with the coaching staff now.
Yeah, it was a must-win game for them. They needed to go to 7-5, especially with their schedule that they have left, and they didn't win. I think they're out of the playoffs for this year.
That's the thing, that they were right there.
They were right there, but you've got so many teams in front of them that are 7-4. The Broncos are hot, and they have a head-to-head matchup over them. I just don't see a realistic path. They have to go into Kansas City after their bye week and beat Kansas City just to get above 500. I just don't see a realistic path for them to make it to the playoffs.
You know, when I saw this unfolding, it was week 3 against the Giants, when they should have lost to the Giants. And they got bailed out by a bad PI call.
And then they should have lost to the Buccaneers, but Chris Godwin didn't turn around on a Hail Mary pass.
Yeah. I mean, there's many things this year where the Bills could really only have 2-3 wins.
So where's the problem?
I couldn't tell you.
I agree with you. I think it's the coaching staff.
But they just fired the OC, and what happened?
They have all the talent in the world, and they just can't get it done. The time management is awful. They are there's the lack of discipline.
What happens to Sean McDermott? He's out?
I don't know about Sean McDermott.
I mean, he put up 28, right, against the Eagles. That's not bad.
I think, but the defense.
They should have won.
At the end
of the day,
I don't. Offensive coordinator.
But I don't know if we can really be blaming him too much. Like, Gabe Davis should make that catch 99% of the time. That's a miscommunication that shouldn't happen.
In overtime?
Yeah.
Well, that's not his route. That's
Josh Allen improvising.
That's Josh Allen seeing him open and saying you should be running towards the end zone. But it's a miscommunication. If you look at it, that's not the whole game. They had a lot of other opportunities.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not like they couldn't have beat the Eagles, and the Eagles are the best team in the league. So I don't know if I think it actually was better. I think they looked decent. That actually was the best Bills team I've seen play this year, which isn't surprising.
Except for when they beat the Dolphins. I think they looked good when they beat the Dolphins.
They're just inconsistent. That's why I don't think they're ever going to be able to.
You want to talk about inconsistent? Let's talk about Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Very inconsistent. But with Zay Jones going down, he's shined.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm not liking Calvin Ridley too much right now, though. So my bench 2 weeks in a row, I think fluke week last week, but bench him again. Here he goes. 31 points again. Unbelievable.
It's 21 points this week.
21. Oops. Who cares? It's just a start.
Yeah. Another thing from this week, Ravens getting a very sloppy win against the Chargers, but, you know, a win's a win. Some teams can't do that. Bills can't do that. Ravens can. That's the difference. So I'm not really too upset with it. It was just sloppy football. You know, it didn't really look like a game where
many turnovers.
Either team didn't really just look.
Every primetime game this year, I mean, it's been awful.
It really has. And that's what happens when you go over to the West Coast. That's an East Coast team. You're gonna be sloppier because you're playing 3 hours behind. So
I like Zay Jones though. I think
he did ball out.
Not Zay Jones. Sorry, Zay Flowers.
Pardon,
Zay Flowers.
I think he had 27 fantasy points.
I haven't seen those celebrations at all this year.
Yeah, the Bouquet celebration was awful.
I like the penalty kick Ronaldo.
I did like the Ronaldo, but the Bouquet celebration was awful.
Bouquet?
Yeah, the Bouquet.
How are we pronouncing this?
The Bouquet.
I believe it's Bouquet.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna go Bouquet because it doesn't deserve to be pronounced Bouquet after that type of celebration.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Moving to booms and busts for this week.
No, we're nowhere near done reviewing the last week. Talking another point that I really just thought about from last week, the Thanksgiving games. It just seems to happen every single year. The Detroit Lions cannot win on Thanksgiving.
No, they can't.
They're cursed.
They can't. They can't do it.
They're cursed. I don't understand how. They lost to the Green Bay Packers.
Although Jordan Love did look really good. He looked like a real quarterback for the
first
time.
That's a one-man team, though. I mean, come on.
I know. I'm just saying, if you're a Packers fan and you see that performance, you are feeling better about your season than you did 2 weeks ago. Because now you're one game out of the playoffs. The Vikings have quarterback questions and Josh Dobbs. you're thinking maybe we can slide into that 7 seed.
Speaking of Josh Dobbs, what in the world are you doing?
Yeah, that was rough.
That was terrible.
But we will give him a little bit of credit. It looks worse on the paper. A lot of those interceptions, unlucky balls popping up in the air. It's not really totally on Dobbs, but a couple of them were. But I'm saying,
The Vikings are questioning him going forward at quarterback.
who are they going to put instead?
Jaron Hall.
Who?
Yeah,
Who?
Right. I think if you're a Vikings coach, it's one bad game. Like, you got to slow the roll. He's been balling all season.
Dobbs?
Must be hard
Dobbs,
to go back.
yeah.
He's not been balling all season.
yes, he
Come
has.
on.
Third
You
different
got
team.
the
this
Arizona
on.
Cardinals a win against
Who
the
has he
Cowboys,
played?
the team that you think it's their year.
That was a fluke game, like I've said multiple times. And I, again, do not think the Cowboys, I don't think it's their year. I think it's their year to win a playoff game.
Roll the clip.
clip.
He
Don't
thinks
roll
it's
it.
their year.
Roll the clip.
I think the Cowboys, this may actually be their year.
Speaking of Dobbs, though, hold on. I want to point this out. So Maxwell wants to say here Dobbs is going off. Great terminology to use there. So he's played Washington. Yeah, great team. And he dropped 0.98 points there. He played the Giants. Played good, but it's the Giants. Doesn't
25
matter.
points.
Played Dallas. Fluke game.
17
Played San
points.
Francisco.
And
Played good. Lost.
Are
Lost.
you hearing
23
what I'm?
points.
Are you
Lost.
hearing what I'm hearing here? He beat the Cardinals or beat the Cowboys. Played good against San Francisco. He came into Minnesota, didn't know the names of his teammates, and
taken
led
a
them
snap
on
from
a
the
game-winning
Are
drive.
we seriously acting like he doesn't know the names of
Led
the
the
teammates in the NFL?
game-winning
Are we
drive.
seriously?
He was told that he wasn't going to get traded, got traded, had 3 days to learn the playbook, and then proceeded to win a game-winning drive where he had a 4th and 8 scramble where he escaped 2 sacks. And you watched that game with me, and you said he looks great. Okay,
He does.
So,
He has
Whoa,
not
whoa, whoa,
played.
roll the clip. He just said he doesn't look great.
He's not been balling all season.
yes, he
Come
has.
on.
Third
you
different
got
team.
the
this
Arizona
Come on.
Cardinals a win. Yeah, I don't know what you want me to
Once
say
again,
here.
once again.
He's all over the place.
He doesn't. He's not. We're acting like he's some newfound superstar. Come on, he's a role player.
Nobody thinks
Okay,
he's a superstar.
But he's better than
he is the
he's
best
a better
backup quarterback
option,
of all time.
He's a better option than Jaron Hall.
Sure, but
So
you
I
just
don't know-
but you just said they're looking at. So if he's been balling all season, why are they looking at replacing him?
Because the Vikings are in shambles.
Is
What?
that wrong?
Are you gonna tell me I'm
Are
wrong?
the Vikings in shambles? Without Justin Jefferson, they were 5-1 without Justin Jefferson.
Well, now they're 5-2, and they just lost to the Chicago Bears.
Also, the Chicago Bears are the first team since 2019 to win without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
What was the score of that game?
12 to
Like
9.
12
12 to 10.
If you had the Chicago Bears kicker,
You are
looking
acting.
good.
Stock up.
Yeah, stock up. I might as well
Speaking of
trade for
kicker,
him.
how about the Eagles kicker?
Oh, he did. He had a 60-yarder to send it.
60 yard. I did. I mean, that
In the
was
rain, too.
Yeah,
In
and
the
that
rain.
should never go in. So that's another reason why the Bills got unlucky there. But
That's a testy kick for Justin Tucker, and if Justin Tucker is having problems with it, then
yeah, speaking of, Justin
Jake
Tucker wants to
Elliott.
miss a very important field goal this weekend and almost let the Chargers come back and beat us. Luckily, they're the Chargers, so
Right,
we knew it
right.
wouldn't happen. But it was scary. I actually didn't even watch that game because I just knew we were going to win. That's the confidence I have as a Ravens fan. Something the Browns don't have. A lot of other franchises don't have. I didn't even need to watch the game. Looking at our one of our favorite topics of the show, who do we want to pick up? Who's going to boom? I think my pick here is going to be Bijan Robinson versus the Broncos. The Broncos defense is pretty pitiful when it comes to the run game. I don't think Bijan will have any issue. This is going to be another game for him to score another 20 points and just prove that he may be getting Rookie of the Year.
I like Michael Pittman versus the Titans. He's been balling the past few weeks.
Very consistent.
Gardner Minshew's going to find a way to get him the ball. Titans defense just isn't that good, and I think he will continue to ball.
What's your pick, Gabe?
I like Joe Mixon versus the Jaguars. Bengals have a backup quarterback in there. I don't see them putting the ball in the air much. I think Mixon will have a good game.
Fair enough. Looking at the bus this week, DK Metcalf versus the Cowboys. I think he's going to be in a box. He's not. I honestly don't think he will get more than 60 yards. I don't see it happening. Geno Smith is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league, and that is my hot take of today. Geno Smith, overrated. He was decent last year, and now wants to come in with acting like a little chip on his shoulder, acting like he's all good. Oh, they wrote me off. I didn't write. No, Geno Smith, you're not good. I mean, you have a winning record, but what is that?
Barely
What
winning.
does that really mean?
We'll
Going
skip
into the power rankings. First time I would actually say I respect the list. First time. I definitely like Eagles number 1 after beating the Bills in a really good game. I like Niners at the 2. That's fair enough. I like Ravens at the 3. That's good. I think Ravens above Chiefs is fair enough to say now. And
I would agree.
I think the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are falling off.
I think it's just that they don't have any receivers.
Yeah, they really don't.
You look
Rashee Rice is
But they won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill.
Right,
but now they have Mecole
and
Hardman
they're still 9 and
Darius
they're still
Toney.
9 and 3 or something. But like, if when it gets later in the season and you have to trust Marquez Valdez-Scantling as your number 1 or number 2 wide receiver, it didn't work in Green Bay. Why is it going to work in Kansas City?
Because it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
But it's Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers.
That's Kermit the Frog, actually.
I mean, I kind of agree with that, but Isaiah Pacheco, that's the reason that it's working now, because they didn't used to have a running back who could actually get them yards. They went from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, these guys were like not at that level. Like Isaiah Pacheco is at that level.
He runs like he's mad at the ground.
We've said that. I mean, yeah, he hates the ground. He hates that turf monster too. He doesn't let it get him. That guy runs hard, and that's the reason that they're able to still be 9-3 this year with no wide receivers. They may have one of the worst wide receiver cores in the league, but it doesn't matter when you have Patrick Mahomes, because at the end of the day, these guys are still NFL receivers, so they can't not catch the ball. If you have Patrick Mahomes putting it at your chest, all you got to do is bring it in. I mean, the Chiefs are wanted to be like a big franchise, but that's in every single sport. We don't have to really go over that.
Power rankings, the 7, you have the Lions. I am a little confused on why it's not the Jaguars.
I'm a little confused why the Lions are there.
That's like exactly what I just said.
I don't understand.
Like, I feel like we're agreeing here.
We are agreeing here.
I feel like
We're
the
agreeing
Jaguars, they just
shake my hand on that.
The Jaguars just beat a really good Texans team. I think they're 8-3. 8-3.
Yeah, I mean, who would think the Jaguars are going to be 8-3?
Control for the 1 seed.
I think that they're in control for the 1 seed in the AFC South. Probably going to get the 3
No, they
seed.
have the chance of the AFC.
I don't.
With the Ravens bye?
I think that's a stretch to say.
I mean,
but the Lions are 1-2 in their last 3 weeks. They've lost to the Packers and they got destroyed by the Ravens.
Bad losses.
I just don't see how you can have the Lions in the top 7.
I agree.
Well, I don't know why you're looking at me like I make this list.
No, I mean, we're not. We're not.
I'm just looking over your guys' way to get confirmation.
Yeah, we all agree here. I don't think the Lions should be anywhere near that. Honestly don't think they should be in the top 10. I think there's 3 teams that are better than them.
Right.
So, we have some updates for this week. Could we see Jim Harbaugh make an NFL return? Panthers? Raiders? I would say no. Yeah, I don't think so.
Why not?
He's cheating. He's cheating.
Right.
What has he done without cheating?
He's cheating, and also
he's made it to a Super Bowl.
Let's not forget what he did in the Super Bowl. He cheated.
He's
Turning the lights off. Couldn't even do it against the Ravens. You had to turn the lights off to get more time to look at your play clock and talk to Greg Roman up in the booth and try and figure it out, but it didn't work.
He's fine at Michigan. He hasn't won anything at Michigan
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. Except for beating the Ohio State University for the 3rd time in a row.
Right. But he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. He's a good
Even with the
college
Panthers
coach.
vacancy,
he's a good
that's true,
college
though.
coach, but he's not an elite college coach.
That's true, though.
They're not
But
gonna
who are the Panthers going to take instead?
Right.
No one wants to go there.
You think he wants to go
That's
there?
what I'm saying. Who are they going to take instead?
I don't know. I don't know the head
I don't
coach
either.
of
I don't know
Carousel.
who's
I don't know
going
why
to
you're
go there,
asking
though.
me.
But who would want to get into that franchise?
I don't know. Vikings aren't set on Dobbs. I believe we talked about this.
Yeah,
over
we did.
this.
Yeah.
Jason Pierre-Paul went to the Dolphins?
He did.
I did not
I guess
know that.
Jalen Phillips
JPP.
Is
tore
that
his
the guy without his
Without
fingers?
his finger. He
Yeah.
blew it off trying to do fireworks. And then the next season, let's not do that. The next season, he goes to the Ravens and played really well.
I think he was a veteran D lineman on a room that needed mentorship.
And that's exactly what he did with the Ravens.
I
He
think
was very good. So I think he'll do
one
well
of the Dolphins' star edge rushers went down with a torn Achilles. Jalen Phillips. I don't know if you saw the video.
I honestly, this is a huge take I got to get off my chest. I don't understand the turf fields in the NFL.
I don't either.
There's people getting injured every single week. Stars getting injured. It's ruining the game.
And the NFLPA has been calling for it to be changed for a while.
So
and
let's
it still
do something
hasn't been
about it.
changed because the owners don't want to spend the money.
There is a rumor
And
that there's
it's-
been more torn Achilles on the Jets field than touchdowns this year.
I wouldn't be surprised
Now
because
that
the Jets
is
suck.
wild. Let that sink in.
Let that sink in.
That is wild. I don't get it. I mean, turf fields
I
are
really don't.
just known to be more injury. What's the word?
Prone.
Prone.
Prone, I guess. Yeah. Grass is more natural. There's more of a cushioning. There'd be less concussions. The turf is the turf is on cement, and then it has a millimeter of space in between it. That's why these people are coming back into
the grass. You like the mud too below it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a football player here. What do you prefer more, turf or grass?
Grass.
Not surprising.
I want to get to play on it once or twice a year too.
Yeah, and I'm sure you love it.
I do.
And yeah, so
cherish that moment.
We got.
I think the only reason there still are turf fields in the NFL is because they feel bad for the workers that have to wash their uniforms after snow games and rain games. And
I don't care.
I think
they're getting paid to
it's
wash
the owners.
NFL jerseys.
I think it's the owners. I think the owners don't want to spend the money.
It's expensive to maintain the grass throughout the winter
right.
and keep it in pristine condition for NFL players.
Turf is easier
to stomp on.
Let's take the easy road until every player gets hurt. And then you're watching Damian Pierce.
But the owners don't care because they still make money.
Exactly. They still make the same amount of money because we're still going to watch it. So
8.
why don't we go on strike? Why don't we? Moving on. A little too high there. We got to look at the Broncos. Another win.
Yeah, what?
5 straight.
5 straight.
I mean, this Russell Wilson guy's cooking.
Can we roll the clip when we said that they were going to make the playoffs? We did.
We did.
Roll it.
Roll the clip.
That is elite ball knowledge right there.
They are not in the playoff picture as of right now, but I can see
the
Browns will slip out, the Colts will slip out.
And I think the Steelers could probably slip out.
I think they could too. But they did look good.
The Steelers are the only team in the AFC North without, or besides the Ravens, with a real quarterback. And is Kenny Pickett even a real quarterback?
He's not a real quarterback.
Well, I don't know. They got a new offense coordinator, and he actually threw very
First
well.
time in like
they had 400 yards
game,
of
they
offense.
had 400 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, the Steelers look good.
But it's a beat up Bengals team.
Agreed. It's one game too.
And the Bengals have given up all hope because Joe Burrow is gone.
So and they're playing a backup quarterback. So it doesn't mean as much as it looks.
Right.
On
Seems like
they got the ball so much more time.
Exactly.
If you watch the game, you would see that the Bengals it was 3-and-out punt,
3-and-out punt. Exactly.
And so the time of possession for the Steelers just massively increased, and because of that, you have much more yards.
Who did I see 3-and-out with? The Jets. I watched the Jets Thanksgiving football game.
I don't know.
I have never watched a worse game of football in my life.
It's terrible.
I have
Hail Mary
never.
pick 6.
Yeah.
How? It's 100 yards. I can't even wrap my head around it. It was the worst game of football I've ever seen. I'm never watching a Jets game again. I refuse. I will not give them any money. It's off.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
3-and-out. I mean, they're literally on a 3rd and 7, which was an important play.
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback? Doyle?
Yeah.
Tim
I don't
Doyle?
even know.
I heard a stat about him. It said something like he played. Shoot, what was it?
You got it. Come on.
Yeah,
right there.
He played at a very subpar college, and I think the stat was like he threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
I did see that.
Expect
I did
him to
see
be
that.
in the NFL?
I don't know how they're getting into the NFL. I don't get it.
The Jets and their quarterback problems, I tell you.
No, it's been an
they
issue.
have such an elite roster surrounding them, other than their
Expect
quarterback.
to see Trevor Siemian there soon.
Yeah.
Another hot take. I think Sauce Gardner is extremely overrated.
I would agree as well.
He literally he's 6'3" and he just holds the whole time. He just holds. He just holds in the end zone. I mean, there's a play where he's just literally manhandling Stephon Diggs. Yeah. Just grabbing him. He's a good player, but
it's not great.
He's using the rules to his advantage, which I respect because it makes rule changes, makes the game better usually, although the game's been pretty... Moving into the ending of this, we're going to look at Marcus Peters released. Could we see him back in Baltimore?
No.
I don't think so. He had a bad falling out with Baltimore. He was not respected. He was a locker room cancer. I don't want him. Leave him. Another Raiders player arrested. I mean, this is getting funny at this point. It's
really,
in their DNA.
It really is comical.
Guess what?
It's what they train for. It really
It's
is.
what they train for.
DUI.
Who's surprised? Not me.
In the contract, you must get a DUI before you can play for a team.
Agreed.
To get that extension, one of the
that's
things
an
was
incentive
get a DUI.
because it's when they're having a
incentive.
losing season. So they're just like, why don't you go have some fun? Go drive. We'll bail you out. Whatever.
Go out the night before a game.
Right.
Yeah, the night before the game. And why don't you
idea.
drive with Henry Ruggs? Take him out. Take him out for a drive. Panther coach has been fired. What would have happened if they would have drafted C.J. Stroud? In my opinion, I don't think it would have been any different. I think they would still be 1-8.
I think C.J. Stroud is sitting there right now.
Glad.
He's thanking
sure.
God.
Do you
was
think
drafted
if
to the
C.J.
Texans.
Stroud goes to the Panthers, they will go on to take Tank Dell too? And does that change anything?
I don't.
No,
that
no,
organization
I don't.
is.
No.
The Texans actually have a decent line. That's what a
I
lot of people
think-
don't understand. The Texans have a good line, and
They do.
C.J. Stroud has time.
They do.
Bryce Young has no time, and he can't even see over the line.
Right.
So what's he going to do?
That's the main problem.
Like, that's the
This
issue.
was the same problem you had with Baker Mayfield.
Exactly.
50% of his passes were being batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Speaking of Cleveland Brown linemen, really quick, what's your boy's name on the right tackle? Absolutely
Dewan-
had
Dewan
T.J.
Jones.
Watt.
Dewan Jones.
Had T.J.
Clamp
Watt in a box.
He did.
In a box.
He did. He
Respect.
He lost one pass pro snap, and it didn't affect the
against
play.
one of the best DNs of all time.
Yeah.
And
Of
no,
all
T.J.
time
Watt's
might
about
be-
to break a record. He's about to break an NFL
Of all
record.
time, might be.
He's
He's
about
the
to
first
break
or
an NFL
second
record.
best defensive end in the league right now.
He's about to break the record. How is he not one of the best of all time?
What record?
He's about to break the sack record.
I don't know about that.
What?
Yeah, T.J. Watt is like close to breaking. It's either like the sack record or pressure rusher. Like he's very close to
For
breaking
the season or all time?
all time. Like he's about to break
No,
some
he
crazy
is
record.
not.
Yes, he
There's
is.
no
we'll have to look it
He's-
up.
He has not been playing in the league.
In the
for
NFL long enough, I
enough.
agree, but there's some record he's about to break.
Maybe it's like single season most.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
single
don't know.
season.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Well,
he's tied the
Myles
record.
Garrett is ahead of him, so Myles Garrett would be first to break the record.
No, he's not though.
Yes, he is.
Myles
T.J.
Garrett's
Watt
done.
joins exclusive list of NFL players with 90-plus sacks in his first 100 career games.
That is
It's
not a
not
record.
breaking a record.
That
of any sort.
isn't an exclusive list though.
Exclusive list is not breaking.
Different than a
Is
record.
Myles Garrett. In
I
that
don't know.
list?
Could we pull up the list?
I don't think we will.
That's what I thought.
Last point here, bringing it close to home. Will Joe Flacco start for the Browns? I'd love to see it.
Yes, he will.
I hope he will.
I think
PJ Walker
Who else
versus
is
Joe
gonna
They
play?
Flacco.
showed him. They
if
showed him on the
DTR
They showed him on the broadcast. They showed him on the broadcast
I
last
think-
week. He will be starting.
I think if DTR doesn't come back, he starts.
DTR's not coming
DTR has
back.
a concussion. He's not coming
It's
back.
not coming back.
He is technically
Well,
not out.
NFL
this week.
concussions
He's
are
not-
different than
Yeah,
normal concussion.
agreed.
You have
Yeah.
multiple times
I-
of treatment a
I
day.
don't-
Yeah, let's roll the Tua
Roll
clip
Tua.
and let's all pray for Tua real quick. That's it. We ended off. We'll see you next week.